Hey planner friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be planning from the 20th to the 26th of October in my Arch and Olive notebook, and this week I am using a spooky season from Josephine Bow Designs. So it's got this gorgeous hollow foil. I'm really sorry if you can hear Reggie eating a chew. I've just realised that might be coming through kind of loud, but he was a good boy on his walk even though there are fireworks. Because this kit has less boxes than I would usually use, I have pulled out a bunch of colour matched ones from my stash, and I have all of my stickers pulled out in my other Planner Face reusable sticker album. So let's get started with the base of the spread. Okay, I'm going to start with something easy. I haven't used a Josephine Bow kit for a hot minute, so I know where my date covers are going to go. At least we have that sorted. And then I can worry about my sidebar. So this week I went to the spooky planner meet that was run by Suteki Stickers on the Sunday. I was just working Monday to Friday as usual, but yeah, this weekend was kind of busy. We had a couple friends over, and then yeah, as I said, I went to the planner meet on Sunday with a couple of friends, and it was really nice to see some faces I only really see at planner events. And yeah, it was just a really fun spooky day. I wore some bat wings the whole day, which may have been a questionable decision, but I managed it. So let's go with one of these flags up in the top corner here. Yeah, I managed it, and we had a really good day. I was just kind of wiggling past people for a lot of the day. I think if I use this half box in the sidebar, and then the spooky season box, I think I need to leave a little bit more space. Spooky season. These are not removable, so if I do need to wiggle any of them around, I have to be super careful, because I cracked all of the foil on the weekend banner the last time I used one of these kits, which was so sad. For my glitter headers, sorry, Reggie's now padding around the room now that he's finished with his chew. For my glitter headers, I'm just going to make sure that they don't match the date covers, because we've got 4 colours of glitter headers and 3 colours of date covers. I'm filming this on Saturday evening, so he's just fully up and about, whereas he would normally be snoozing when I'm filming. These are just going to have to be random colours, because I think I've messed up my order somehow. Well, there's an extra colour in there, that's how it's got confused, but let's go with you there. The black one on. No, we'll keep that. Go back to yellow. Yeah, so this was quite a Halloween themed week, so it seemed appropriate to use a very Halloween themed kit, although I use Halloween kits the whole way through October. So yeah. Also, it's always fun to mix up and use a different shop's kit every now and again, even if it is a little bit more thought required for putting a spread together. So I'm going to use the ghost there. And then I really wanted to use this box. It's got sort of a gradient effect. So pop that one there. And then maybe the purple ghosts in the middle. Okay, my sidebar's looking a smidge wonky, but I'm just gonna live with it. And then on think on Saturday I'm just going to use these ghosties. I might not have a full box on Sunday because I've got a lot of stuff to mark in, and if I want to have a full box, it needs to be a extender. So I'm just going to leave that for now, and we'll just add this extra one in. Okay, and then for washi, there's a bunch of different washies. I think I might do something that I have not done in this planner at all, which is use 2 strips of washi. So I'm going to use the skinny one. There. And then this sort of plaid underneath. Yeah, because I only have space for like 15mm washi, I never do like a split washi situation. So a little bit late to the game. Also this thinner washi is just easier to tear than to try and cut. And then skinny washi. I have the like actual like tape of these ghosts, these purple ghosts as well. Didn't quite twig that it was from this kit, but I used that in my Hobonichi for this week. So accidentally matching. Okay, and then I'm not going to make the same mistake I made last time, and I'm actually going to put the weekend banner in right at the end. See, so that I don't have to, there's no chance that I'll have to accidentally peel it up. Yeah, for my sidebar, I have a little squidge feeling spooky, and then a Hollow October from Planner Face. These are my new angled tweezers that I got from the Grumpy Tortoise. And they're kind of like oil slick. I showed them in my November monthly, but that's like something that I did this morning to me, so these are still very new. Okay, so that is the base of the spread. It's looking very shiny already. Now we can get into my plans for the week. Okay, so starting off on Monday, I was working on site this day, so I'm going to use one of these, and I had a bit of a migraine this day, so I actually came home from work early. I can use my new tweezers if I remember. I'm going to try and, oh, that came up surprisingly easily. Try and write some things like on the actual planner as well as on stickers this week. Our friend Dan was still here this day, but this day is when he went home. So I'm just going to use one of the labels that I've pulled out to mark him heading home. And then I did my training for this day. I'm going to use the flags for training because I have scripts for them. That is going to be the wrong way around. Let's see if I can peel this up gently. Okay, that's as straight as it's going to get. And then in the evening, I was just watching some Stephanie Sue. So I have this box from my stash, which must be from a monthly because it's a little bit wide. Try and move these one more time. Now I've got quite a big sticker for the migraine, so if we keep this size, but maybe a bit straighter. I feel a little bit all over the place because I'm not planning at my usual time. Anyway, so for work this week I'm using squidges. So I've got a whole bunch of Halloween squidges, and then for having a bit of a migraine I just have another squidge. I'm gonna lay it over. For Dan heading home I just have a Frankenstein squidge. I didn't really know how to mark that. And then for training I have Dumbbells version 2 from Planner Face, and a Snatch custom script also from Plannerface. And then for watching some YouTube, I just have a TV doodle also from Plannerface. Okay, I feel like I'm going to get a bit more into my groove now that we've done one day. So moving on to Tuesday, I was working from home this day, so I'm going to use another quarter box to mark that in. Between work and training, I've written down life admin, so I will use a little thing from my stash for that. I cannot actually remember what life admin I did that day, but I'm sure it's in one of my planners. I then did my training, so I'm going to use another flag for that. And then played some Baldur's Gate with Becca, which I'm going to use a half box for. Let's go with this one. Okay, I have slightly less space than I wanted. This paper is a little bit thicker than the paper that I use in my Plannerface kits, so it's a little bit less forgiving when it comes to like cutting chunks out of things. When I used to cut like a little piece out of the end to make my stickers fit in certain journals, I would always struggle with these gorgeous kits, having to like chop little bits out of them. Okay, I then have a teeny tiny little thing. I have a massive sticker for it as well though. Let's try and do this very carefully. I feel like if I cut out about that much. Okay. Back to my old sticker surgery ways. I think the most pieces I ever cut a sticker into to make it fit where I wanted it to was 4. Okay, that's not turned out too bad. And then I can fit my little thing at the bottom. Okay, so for work this day I have another squidge, and then for my life admin I have another Halloween squidge. I'm gonna notice a theme as we go through this. For training I have Dumbbells version 2 from Plannerface and a custom clean script. For playing some Baldur's Gate with Becca I have Vanilla. And then for getting an early night I have this super cute squidge with like a little ghost and a pumpkin, and I'm just gonna trim the bottom of this and hopefully not ruin the washi underneath. Yeah, cute. Okay, moving on to Wednesday. I was working on site this day, so I don't have a huge amount to mark in on this day, so hopefully we'll be able to keep things a bit more spaced out. Me and my friend from work went to Asda on our lunch this day, and there was someone dressed as a dinosaur like walking around Asda, and it kind of looked like they were just shopping in one of those like massive inflatable dinosaur costumes. But then someone else from our work saw them later in the day and they appeared to be stacking shelves, so I guess they worked there, which makes way more sense. But this old lady stopped me and my friend from work and were like, "Can you see the dinosaur too?" And we were like, "Yes, you're not hallucinating." So that was interesting. After work I got really annoyed at Ticketmaster. I'm not going to get into it, but I had to do one of those stupid verify my identity things. And then I just played some Baldur's Gate with Becca in the evening, so I'm going to mark that in with a square box. For work this day I have Squidge, and then I didn't have a T-Rex, but I did have a dinosaur, so I've got a dinosaur sticker. I cannot remember where it's from, but for there being a dinosaur in Asda. For being annoyed at Ticketmaster I have Vanilla with a swear jar. And then for gaming in the evening I have Vanilla Gaming. Okay, this first half of the week is looking super cute. I'm glad there's just enough sparkle going through everything. Moving on to Thursday, I was working from home this day, so I'm going to use another quart box to mark that in. While I was working, my partner was working on something that I'm not going to talk about just yet. So hold on, we'll put training in first because I don't want that flag, this specific flag, to be upside down. And yeah, so I'm just going to mark in what he was working on. It's nothing to do with plannering. I just don't know if he wants people to know yet. On this day, I did a 100 kilo front squat triple. So I'll mark that in with a little thing, even though it's a very big thing. So I was super happy with that because I'd done 100 for a double like a couple weeks ago. And yeah, the extra rep was there this day. And then for the evening, oh, that actually fits perfectly. Nice. I just played some Baldur's Gate with Becca, who is surprised. So for work, I have another squidge. I've just realised I do need to put these in the other way around. Let's hope that they will still pick up. Okay, so for the thing, and then for training, it's kind of annoying that these two purples are now next to each other, but I don't have another sticker that's the right size to go in there. Okay, so for training, I have dumbbells version 2 and a jerk script from Planaface. For the thing, I just have Squidge dancing to some music. For my front squat triple, I have Vanilla. And then for playing some Baldur's Gate, I just have a computer doodle from Papershire. Okay, moving on to Friday, I was working on site this day. So we will add that in. And then on this day, Reggie would wear his raincoat for the first time in ages. So I've got a little leash doodle to mark that in. So use one of these. I was then playing some Baldur's Gate with Becca, and we were having a little bit of lag issue. I think it is going to have to be this one. I've used more half boxes than I thought I would. Yeah, we were having a lag issue, which was really stressful because I'd had like quite a stressful day at work, and then coming home and like troubleshooting mods or a game was not what I wanted out of my evening. So I got that done, and then we could actually play, which it's all fine once we actually got it sorted. Let's use this one. And then we were just having some drinks at home. So for work this day, I have another squidge. For Reggie wearing his raincoat, I just have the lead doodle, or a lead doodle from Planaface. For playing some Baldur's Gate, I have another squidge, and then for being annoyed, I have a little rage quit squidge. And then for some drinks at home, I just have a cocktail glass from Planaface. Okay, so now we are coming to Saturday and Sunday, which are going to be the two busiest days of the week. So for Saturday, I started off by doing my memory planning. And although I've got like a dark box there, I'm going to use another dark like swatch just because I can grab a script for this. So I don't have to try and write on this paper. I then went to team training, so we'll use yellow for that. So team training, I did a 77 kilo clean triple, so I was feeling pretty strong this day. So all that technique work is really starting to pay off. Then I was just doing some editing. We then had a kind of unplanned visit from some friends. So it's nice to hang out with them for a bit. It's okay, bub. And then I did my packing for the planner meet the next day. Oh, also, while we were hanging out with our friends, Reggie was being adorable. He was basically being a lap dog, so he's really getting like much more comfortable now that we have like more space for him downstairs. In the evening we did gaming and drinks. I wanted to put the clocks went back as well. So the clocks went back on a little thing, and then we'll have this other little thing for gaming and drinks, and I just won't mark in my packing because, let's be honest, I didn't do a great job of it. I just chucked some bits and bobs in a bag. Okay, for planning this day, I have Squidge dressed as a vampire with their planner. For training, I have Bunilla and a custom team training script. Just realised instead of this, I'm going to use one of these again. Just so that I am doing like writing directly on the planner in quite a few spaces, otherwise it'll look weird if it's just one or two. For feeling strong, I have Squidge feeling strong. For doing some editing, I have a laptop doodle. For Reggie being adorable, I did pull out this paw print, but I think I'm just gonna like write it on because I have quite a big sticker for this. So I have these Squidges having some drinks, and then because I've done that way around, I have to change these. So I was originally going to be putting two things on this half box. Oh, after all that, I didn't actually pull something out for the clocks going back. Anyway, so I've got this Squidge with a pillow for gaming and drinks, and then for the clocks going back, actually, you know what? Let's see if I can pull this up. Okay, no. Okay, you can't really tell. So that's gonna be for the clocks going back, and then I'll just grab something out for gaming and drinks. Okay, I have another little Squidge. Okay, crisis averted down the bottom of this bit. Okay, moving on to Sunday. This is the day that we went to the Spooky Planner Meet. So the first thing that I'm gonna mark in with a little thing is picking up Kelly and Hannah. Add in one of these for driving to the meet. So when we got there, the first thing we did was a little trick or treat situation. So you went around the room, and some tables and stalls had like tricks or treats. To be fair, they were mostly treats. Sorry, but I keep saying treat. Yes, that was a really fun like little intro thing. We then did a bookbinding workshop, or workshop that involved some bookbinding, and I managed to do it, but there was some not entirely non-structural washi tape involved. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. I wasn't doing the best at the bookbinding. There's then a bit of a delay for lunch, so I had a mental breakdown over a word search. I kept finding words that weren't on the list, and none of the words that were on the list, and I was like, how am I doing this so wrong? But we got there in the end, and then we had lunch. We then did some shopping. I didn't do too much shopping because it hadn't been long since we've been at Southwest Planner Club, and quite a few of the shops were at both. So yeah, I didn't do like too much shopping. Yeah, we then made some boba tea. So they had this most adorable like boba tea stand, and one of the recipes was called bog water, and we have like a little running joke that I'm a bog witch, so I had to make the bog water boba tea, and it's actually really nice because it's mostly just apple flavoured. I then did some destashing, and we found some really just unhinged choices of die cut. And then there was awards at this meet, and I won best costume, I think because everyone just felt bad that I'd been walking sideways all day trying to get around people with my stupid wings. But yeah, so that was yeah, really fun. And then I also won a little prize on the raffle, so again, super fun day out. But then it was time to head home. It was quite a long drive. I had kind of completely misunderstood where Dudley was. I thought it was, even if I switch that around, it's still gonna be there. Okay, I thought that Dudley was like just past Gloucester, and it turns out it's basically just Birmingham. So it was a little bit more of a drive than I expected, and I had work the next day. Okay, so I have It's Time Squidge for picking up Kel and Hannah, and then I have a little car doodle for driving to the meet. For Trick or Treat, I have Squidge Trick or Treating. For the book binding, I have a Squidge with a spell book. For my word search Menti Bee, I was going to put this Lottie, who's like in a mummy costume. I wasn't sure if I wanted to leave the ghost underneath, but I pulled Lottie out, so she's going in. She doesn't make as much of a appearance in my planner at the moment. For lunch, I have this Halloween food doodle from Plannerface. And for shopping, I just have a credit card doodle from Plannerface. For the bog water bobber, I have Squidge with a cauldron. And then for the unhinged die cuts, I just have some sticker sheets. For best costume, I have Squidge trying on a bat jumper. And I won an Archer and Olive notebook, so I also have Nana, which I'm going to use to cover up the floor, which is a bit annoying, but Nana with journals. Unfortunately, then it was time to go home, as I said, so I have another car doodle. And then I just had a lazy evening when we got home, because we got home not super late, but it was like late for me. So I just have these haunted houses from Stick with the Plan Co. Okay, so that is everything. I'm just seeing if there's any more foil I can put anywhere. Oh, I need to put my weekend banner in. Duh. So we'll put the weekend banner in down here. Okay, that looks super cute. So it's a very foily spread. I didn't add any extra foil, but yeah, it's so shiny. So that is all of my stickers down for the week. I'm gonna go fill all this in and I will be right back. So here's the spread all filled out, and I'm super happy with how this one has turned out. It's so shiny and Sunday is so full of happy memories. Yeah, it's just so sparkly. If you've made it this far in the video, leave me a ghost emoji in the comments, and if you have any other comments or questions, leave them down below as well. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed it, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye!